Alright guys, what's going on? This is your boy like one have Endure back with another video again, and this is not gonna be negative video. This as you gonna see through the week how things was. So what can I say? What can I say? But I wanna the name of this video I think I'm gonna come up with is I wanna know if Nintendo and just have F. Nintendo is F. I think that's what I'm gonna call it. Nintendo is F. That's what I'm gonna call it. Because that's what this is all about. And you're gonna see what I'm talking about in this video when I say Nintendo's F. For people who understand stuff, if you come here to hate comment, go ahead. I'll just call you out for being stupid. If you didn't watch the whole video, that's your problem. You're an idiot. But anyway,
Nintendo made the right call.
of course.
Not that they had any way of knowing what was coming when they designed the Switch platform and continued it on into the Switch 2, but they somehow made the exact right decision, like some all-seeing, all-knowing, wise monk from the Himalayas, or wherever it is that monks are from. Where do monks come from? I'm already getting sidetracked. Look, all of the talk lately is about the Steam Machine and its insane, yet somewhat necessary price tag. Oh, come on! Has made one thing abundantly clear.
Yep.
By sticking to the core philosophies that Big Red has held for so many years, they might have created a console so perfect that it's near invincible. Or at least when it comes to the ever-raging electronic component crisis of 2026. But there's actually so much more at play here. You see,
Exactly. You've been hearing me, if you've been watching my channel, you've been hearing me saying it for the longest of time. Fun. Nintendo is fun. Alright? I'm not saying PlayStation ain't fun, Xbox ain't fun, Steam ain't fun, all that stuff. I'm not saying that. You buy what you want to buy, have your fun, your money. But the core of Nintendo has been and always been that. I've said it multiple times in hundreds of times over the video. Fun. That's why I buy my console. Hate me because I'm a Nintendo fan. Boo-hoo, whatever. I got 3,000. I have 300 Nintendo Switch games, and I'm enjoying every one of them, and I'm playing and I'm having fun with them. Okay? You could go ahead and bitch about, oh, price is this, price is that. Go ahead. My stance, which nobody, and I do mean nobody, people try to argue me on it, and trust me, it makes you sound like an idiot. And sometimes it does make you feel like an idiot. If you don't like something, you don't buy it. If you like it, buy it. Outside of that, what else do you care? It's your money. Why is that so hard for some people? But for some reason, it's hard.
Of decision making that has sometimes made Nintendo seem like the lesser platform has suddenly made them the go-to platform for me and many, many other gamers.
Yep.
You know, it's almost like staying true to your values in a world that's slowly going off the rails could prove to be a smart decision.
You know what?
Who knew?
Exactly.
Let's start by looking at generations past and years of handheld gaming that might have just gave Nintendo the insight needed to make it the powerhouse that it is today. When I was just a wee little man, Nintendo was still being competitive, at least as far as specs and performance goes. The N64 was innovating on a ton of technology at the time. It was the first place that had Rumble in a controller. That seems so
Rumble memory pack, analog stick, Z targeting. Yeah. And also the loading was better because of this. So loading was still good. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew that 64 was that good? Oh yeah, multiplayer, 4 multiplayer. All that was there. PlayStation didn't have it. They emulated on it better. And I got a video about PlayStation and Super Nintendo and 64. And it's not, I did one already, but this is not, there won't be an argument about it. It's just to show you something and give respects to whatever. PlayStation took what it is and added a second thumbstick, and it's used for cameras and everything, and every controller has it right now. So it's not a negative. But it was this Nintendo. Nintendo is the one who always mainline, and I'll make sure people understand this for, for the ones in the back of the class. Mainline, excuse me, mainline. Yes, they weren't the original person to put Rumble in a controller. They weren't the first original person to make wireless controller. They weren't the first original person company to put analog and all that stuff. They won't. But they mainline it and made it mainstream. 4 buttons, shoulder buttons, all that. It was Nintendo. Sorry. Mainline. That was them. So as much as y'all hate Nintendo, some people hate Nintendo, it was them who helped push gaming along by leaps and bounds.
Novel now, but Nintendo are the ones who introduced that to the world. And heading into the GameCube, Nintendo actually held the power crown, even against Sony's wildly successful PlayStation 2. But Nintendo was secretly getting a very valuable education in what consumers really cared for. With their handheld consoles, they were slowly finding out that while gamers did value all the fancy bells and whistles and high-fidelity, lifelike graphics, what they really valued above all else is just having fun.
Yep.
This looks awkward. See, handheld gaming back then was usually a relatively simple affair. But by following this basic tenet of fun over everything, it ensured that Nintendo has stayed on the right path. While Sony and Microsoft were only seeing how gamers felt about the bleeding edge of technology and gaming experiences, Nintendo was finding out that gamers also really enjoyed the simple experiences that just provided fun above all else. Focusing on novel concepts like portability or the ability to interact with your friends in real life, like when you first traded a Pokemon to get that special evolution. Now, I'm not going to make this video a whole-ass history lesson, but needless to say, after the GameCube, Nintendo really leaned into the mindset of, we don't need to have the most powerful platform possible, as long as it means that we can create fun and meaningful experiences that are sold at a price point that means almost everyone can afford to play.
And even today, as they quote-unquote fail console with the Wii U, yeah. I have a lot of Wii U games and play them because they were fun. And they went fun. Mario 3D World was fun. Nintendo Land was fun. The game that came, that was super fun. And there's never been a game like that in a while either. I had a lot of games, Batman Arkham Edition for the Wii U, fun with what they did with the Wii gamepad. That was fun. It wasn't the best-selling console. It wasn't the powerhouse console, but it was, as he said, FUN.
Fun, joyous experiences available to the masses. It's a winning formula.
Yeah.
And this simple philosophy has been Nintendo's secret sauce ever since. And that's actually proving to be more important now than ever. See, with the launch of the Nintendo...
Exactly. Let's go back to let's look back at secret
winning
sauce.
Formula. And this simple philosophy has been Nintendo's secret sauce.
The secret formula for winning. And again, like I said, the Wii U wasn't the Wii U didn't sold 13 million, but it was still a fun ass console. It had some really good games. Wonderful 101. Oh my goodness. Bayonetta 2. Again, really good games that I enjoy the hell out of on my weak dying console. Number 1, a tablespoon of fun. 4 cups of authenticity. Chopped up with good art, which I'm with, because I always would say I would take art style over photorealistic. 2 tablespoons of affordability. A diced plumber. A cup of mushroom. Star Fox is good for one and a half cups. That's funny.
ever since, and that's actually proving to be more important now than ever. See, with the launch of the Nintendo Switch, they unified their handheld and home console divisions. And they did so while launching a console that was still relatively affordable and covered both handheld and home console players.
Yep.
That was able to play games that were right at the edge of what you would expect out of a modern console, while still maintaining somewhat realistic goals for portable hardware and graphics. And this
Yeah.
little detail, where Nintendo straddles the line between performance and affordability, will become so much more important as the industry slowly balloons into production costs in the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Exactly. And again, who mainline? Nintendo wasn't the first console to do the hybrid. No ifs, ands about that. But who again? What the Nintendo does? Mainline gimmicks and everything. Nintendo did it. The Switch made it mainline. Now everybody want to play the Steam Deck, the Lenovo Go, and all that stuff. And again, ROG Ally, all those computers. There was I think the Lenovo was in concept before the Switch One was, but it didn't feel practical to spend that much money on it. Now people are doing it. Good for them. You want to spend $1,500 for a PC, a handheld PC? Your money, you go pay for it. Good. But what made it mainline? Nintendo.
While Sony and Microsoft continue to chase the pinnacle of graphics and fidelity, they're also chasing the costs of making these games. And they're doing so right off a cliff.
Yep.
I like big
Budgets.
and I cannot lie.
Now, of course, nobody could have predicted the current hardware crisis. Companies chasing after that magical AI dragon and making everybody else suffer. That definitely wasn't on my bingo card back in 2018.
You're correct. I didn't think about the whole the graphics cards. Yes, the whole, like you just said with the AI. I didn't think that, but in 2019, I did have a video saying games gonna get expensive. And once again, Liger was correct. Who knew?
But let's actually take that out of the picture for a second.
Yeah.
Even without the hardware component issue, we have still seen the cost of production and game design balloon into astronomical prices. Not only is it taking longer than ever to produce these AAA masterpieces,
Yep.
but it's also affecting their willingness to think outside the box, to give that weird, quirky game a chance.
Correct.
Basically, if they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a new idea that doesn't pan out, they're SOL. And while I
There
do
you
love
go.
getting more God of War games, I truly miss the days of Gravity Rush,
There you go.
and Warhawk,
Warhawk.
and Little Big Planet.
Right.
Thank God for Astrobot. Hopefully,
They get a
He makes
sequel because I like Astrobot too.
Nintendo
I
has
do like.
faced the same rising
I'm with you too. I like Astrobot. That's a really good game.
cost of production that everyone else has. And the timeline on their game production has lengthened also, albeit to a somewhat smaller degree.
Yep.
This is also where their unified hardware has really allowed their studios to shine. No longer being split between portable and home consoles means that they have a lot of output, all focused on the same piece of hardware. And unlike Microsoft, who tried to buy their way into having tons of studios to combat this problem, Nintendo cultivated their studios naturally. Well, mostly. And since their design
Which again, 2018 is when I put a video. I said, yeah, I'm like, Phil Spencer, you bought all these studios. Are you gonna do something with them? And come to find out, he ain't did jack squat with them.
around gameplay first and having absolutely peak art styles, even their most ambitious games cost a fraction of what most AAA games cost to make.
Yep.
And because of their core philosophies, they're designed to stand the test of time. And this means that Nintendo is willing and able to take more risks. They're willing to take a chance on that silly and quirky idea that other AAA developers and publishers just wouldn't. I mean, we're getting games like Rhythm Heaven lead a Nintendo Direct.
Correct.
Neither Sony nor Microsoft would risk the time and resources unless it was a sure thing. But because
Exactly.
Nintendo has kept their production scope so focused, they're able to take these chances. Not just because they're good guy Nintendo, but just because they played it smart. these games don't cost Nintendo as much to make. Now, when we couple the hardware component crisis along with the ballooning cost of game production, you really get this perfect storm where nobody can afford to buy or make games. But this kind of showcases Nintendo's genius. See, historically, Big Red has kind of been ridiculed for having the lesser machine. They're
Yep.
underpowered. They're
Yep.
using outdated technology. These are things that we all heard for both the Switch 1 and Switch 2. Quite frankly, it's been a criticism that's been leveled at Nintendo for generations now.
Yep.
It's a criticism that I had myself back before I gave the Switch a chance.
Not me.
And of course, this did cause some issues with third parties. Historically, Nintendo has been left in the dust when it comes to third-party support. And when they did actually get a third-party port or a version of a game, it was usually different or lesser than. Just look at some of the third-party stuff that came to the Wii. But that decision,
But going off of what you just said, my friend, I could tell you right now, the most fun games. Here's the funny part: that was third party that Nintendo helped out by using that remote point and everything. Look, I didn't give a dang about Call of Duty. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I didn't. But I'll be lying to you if I didn't enjoy the mess out of Modern Warfare on the Wii U. Yes, it was graphically nowhere close, but my point is I didn't care about the graphics. I was enjoying, again, the word of the day, kids: fun, fun. That's what it is. I had fun with Modern Warfare 1. I had fun with Modern Warfare 3 because 2 didn't came to the Wii. I had fun with Black Ops 1. With the Wii U, I had a blast. And the peak to me, I'm sorry, the peak, because I wanted single player, I was not an online player much, but the peak Modern Warfare game to me was Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. Chef kiss. I also played Ghost. Ghost was, but compared to what all the slop I'm seeing now for Modern Warfare, Ghost is a diamond in the rough. But yeah, that was good. Black Ops 2, love it. Enjoy the hell out of it. And as you just showed on the screen, which even though, just because, to full disclosure, I did work on the game, but still, I still have not seen anybody else do what Red Steel 2 have done. The seamless gameplay between gun and sword and just the moves and everything is buttery smooth, good on a weaker system, but still damn good. Not even these virtual games, Oculus and all that stuff does what they do in Red Steel. Red Steel Torture. Red Steel 1 wasn't really that great. It was a concept, but I'm happy they went to Red Steel 2. Love the game, love the concept. Oh man, that was fun and I enjoyed it.
To stick to their values and trust their gut, the very thing that got them ridiculed in generations past,
Yep.
is what's going to get them through this entire crisis and probably do so relatively unscathed. And the timing of the Switch 2 couldn't have been better on Nintendo's part. Their partnership with Nvidia has finally reached a point where they are able to get chips that are able to utilize DLSS and do so at a relatively affordable price. It's crazy that I finally get to say this, but Nintendo has hardware that is capable of running most third-party titles, and it does so with fairly competitive performance and fidelity. Now, I know what you're saying. How does all of this make Big Red this wise, benevolent leader? Benevolent? Malevolent? How does it make Big Red this wise leader? Well, wisdom, discipline, call it what you will. Let's just look at the rest of the industry. Their closest handheld competitor is the Steam Deck, and that's over $700 for the base model. And Valve's soon-to-be-released Steam Machine is over $1,000. And the performance isn't even cutting edge. It's not something that you would write home
Exactly.
about. There are other benefits to having a gaming PC.
You can look at the difference there. And here's the funny part. I talked about this in which video I did. One of the videos I talked about. When I said that, I was like, Oh, it was Elliot, the one we were talking about with the Vengeance of Elliot, when a guy made Steam Deck runs Vengeance of Elliot was running at 40 frames per second in that video that he showed. He was doing it. Could you pump out more, guys? Maybe so. I don't know. I was on the video, but he made it look better because just like you see the difference right here, he made it look better. The OLED screen was better, and because the OLED screen works better with contrast, with darks and more better darks and everything. But the Switch was running Elliot in 120 frames per second. While it was running 40 frames per second on the Steam Deck. But he said he still chooses Steam Deck, which he could do that all he want. But my point is, there you go. But y'all want to pay for your money, you pay the money you want to do. That's all cool. That's all great. And again, for any PC guy going to be a jerk, if you're going to get it to run 60 frames per second on the Steam Deck, he didn't show it, and that's all I'm going off of him. Okay, I don't have a Steam Deck. I'm not against the Steam Deck. I'm not against PC or the Steam machine. I'm not against none of these systems. That's one thing I've seen in the last week where these people are commenting and don't watch the video. I am not knocking down the other systems. I'm saying it's not a bad idea. I like competition. I don't want Nintendo to be the only console out there. No.
In the living room, sure, but everything else equal, the Switch keeps up with the Steam machine and the Steam Deck with relative ease. And the ROG Ally and the Lenovo Legion Go are more expensive even still. Some of these PC handhelds can get up to $2,000. And then we have the other home consoles. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are both $600 or more, depending on if you want to be able to play discs. Editor's note: this piece man from yesterday had no idea that Microsoft was going to wake up this morning and choose violence by raising the costs of Xbox yet again. So now it's not going to be $600 to $650, but closer to $800 if you want to play a Series X.
Exactly.
That's one hell of a price tag for Gears of War and Halo.
Exactly.
So at $450, $500 come September with the already announced price increase, the Nintendo Switch 2 is a insanely good value. It's far and away the best deal and entry point to get into gaming right now, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future. See, Nintendo's insistence on using hardware that is just current enough, but not so current that it breaks the bank and they have to pay out the wazoo for it, has finally paid off. What used to be something they caught flack for is now the...
Well, yeah, if you're talking about the graphical stuff, because the Wii paid off. It paid off for the Wii, but I get what you're saying.
Exact reason they're able to undercut the competition. Back when prices were a little bit less, that wasn't such a big deal. But now that it's $1,000 just to play God of War, that kind of makes a pretty big difference. And not only do they undercut the competition, but they do so while offering a more stable release of first-party titles than any other platform.
Thank you.
And they still maintain the ability to try fun and new things and try quirky, silly Nintendo ideas without fear of the studio getting shut down 3 weeks later.
Thank you.
Most gamers that I've talked to are more than happy trading absolutely peak performance for a platform that allows them to play portably and game on their own time. I mean, the kids are at the playground, and I could play Star Fox right now if I wanted to, as long as I don't lose one of the little guys. Hey, yeah, they're all right. And I get Nintendo's stellar first-party lineup as well. Look, the hard truth is that the future might be pretty bleak for a lot of this industry, but Nintendo is still holding place as this bright, shining red light that many gamers can still use to guide their way to a fun and affordable gaming experience. I've got to do the spiel, the YouTube spiel.
I'll leave it at because it's good. I won't let it lose your spiel.
If you found this video interesting or compelling, if you've got value out of this video, consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot to me that you guys watch. That's why I put these calls to action at the end of the video, because if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. And just consider subscribing, liking, and yeah, appreciate you watching. And if you didn't like the video, comment down below and tell me why I suck or why you don't agree. Either way, I'd love to hear from you, and I really appreciate it. All right, I'll catch y'all in the...
And I respect you on that, sir. And that's all I'm saying. Nintendo is F. Nintendo is fun. That's what Nintendo is. Do you want to go play other consoles and have fun? Good for you. Go ahead and do that. And that's all I care about. But all my videos in the last month is showing how all the people who bitched, moaned, argued, oh, last year, and the Switch is this, is over for Nintendo. And even now, the whole Nintendo's consoles dropped off. It hasn't really, but whatever. And all that stuff, whatever. If you want simple entry, now is the time to buy a Nintendo Switch. If you want it, it's the cheapest console at $450 to get into gaming. You will get a bunch of exclusives, you get fun games, and you get good online if you want to. They got the cheapest online at $20 a year, $20 a year if you want Switch Online. If you want the full Switch thing, then it's basically $50 a year. That's what it is for the 40 year. That's the one that included the Nintendo 64 NSO, whatever. But if you and the game channel and everything. But if you don't want that, you could just put a 19 just so you could play your games and whatever, have fun with it. That's good. We have a family account, and basically we use all the accounts, and we just $80 a year for all of the members we have, and we full out on our account. So yeah, but it's fun. It's literally fun. But if you don't like Nintendo's practices, you don't like it because of the whole Power Word nonsense, you don't like it because, you know, the key cards, even though that's the best solution to have compared to what Sony and Microsoft has done, of course. If you don't like that, then you do not have to buy the Nintendo Switch console. Okay? Don't buy it. You don't like Nintendo practices and stuff and everything and all that stuff, do not buy them. I'm not telling you you have to go buy a Nintendo console, but if you want it now, it would be the best time. But I'm just saying, just enjoy the games, whatever it is. That's why my phrase is always at the end of my video is, enjoy your games on all consoles, including PC and mobile devices, because people play mobile devices and stuff like that. But again, I laugh because there's a lot of people who buy they buy phones that are $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a year. Nevertheless, another year, but a year. And $450 is too much for y'all? That's too funny to me. That's really funny to me. But again, it's all for fun. That's all it is. And one of the reasons I also give this guy a view that you guys are seeing, and I did thumbs up your videos. You can see in the corner. I thumbs up the video. I am basically in the corner of the world where he is. The park that he was walking around and stuff like. I've been to that park more times doing running and jogging. So I was like, wait, I know that, and that's the park. So shout outs to homeboy again, a fellow North Carolinian. That's where we are. But good. Thank you for pointing out the obvious. A lot of gamers don't see that. They look over stuff. As again, you see the last couple of videos I made, they're looking over what I said and they just blatant whatever. Look, again, you don't have to buy a Nintendo console. Don't buy it if you don't like it. But let's just be honest and consistent. And that's one thing I pride myself on, and that's one thing I have been. I've been consistent. And a few times that I've been wrong, and I've been wrong a little bit of time. This is like 5% of the time I've been wrong. I made a video about, hey, I was wrong about that. Or, I have come full circle and said I was wrong about that. Like Grand Theft Auto, I thought it was going to be $100. It's not $100. And I said it in the video. It's not $100. So, hey, there you go. I was wrong. Now, a code in the box missed me with that nonsense. And again, you see gamers just like this they're coming, they say everything about Nintendo and all as they want, but they'll give Grand Theft Auto a pass. They'll give them a pass for everything, cause it's Grand Theft Auto. Anyway, there's no perfect games out there. That's why I say it. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy games on all consoles, including PC and mobile devices. Peace out.